Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful Rabbit Hole, Lore and Fray, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. So apparently Overwatch 2 is out, and apparently it doesn't fucking work. If Darkside Phil is correct, at least Splatoon 3 can boot up. At least it can run. Overwatch 2 really from what I've seen of DSP's gameplay, it's just him like sitting there waiting for like the loading screen. There's like some kind of problem where the game cannot handle too many players at once. So like you have to be in a queue to wait for your turn to play. And so like Darkside Phil is just like, bitching about the Overwatch thing, talking about like the wait and stuff like that. And then he goes into the game itself. And this kind of shocks me. Overwatch 2 doesn't seem to have any major changes from the original. It has a couple of new characters, most carry over from the original. It has a handful of new stages, none of which you're actually going to play, by the way. Like, it feels like the game is just the same thing as Overwatch 1. It is essentially what fanboys accuse Splatoon 3 of being, right? I haven't seen anyone like bring that up when it comes to Overwatch 2 yet, but like it's interesting, isn't it? How like these people will attack Nintendo for doing something specific, like supposedly not evolving their formula. Splatoon 3 has a campaign. It has new features. It has new modes. It has new enemies, new boss fights, new stages, new weapons. Significantly more, I think, than what Overwatch 2 offers. Overwatch 2, I think, is just a cheap cash grab. I think the 2 branding is essentially an attempt to salvage a dying brand. I think Overwatch was one of the most overhyped, like, bullshit things of the past decade. Like, probably second only to Destiny, I think. Like, I hated Overwatch from, like, its very inception. Like, seeing, like, this be one of the most heavily promoted games, like, going into 2016, like, being told it was, like, the world's only colorful shooter, which was bullshit, considering Splatoon had already come out. It was weird seeing how in real time how game journalists like ignored Splatoon, ignored like the legitimately fantastic new Nintendo IP that has like millions of players the world over to try and shill Overwatch and try to make that the next big thing. And the interesting thing is it failed. I do think Overwatch can be considered a failure, but it's so bizarre seeing people continue to try and pretend otherwise, that there's some weird that Overwatch is like this hugely popular, highly successful brand. It's popular in the way that like Star Wars is popular, right? It's attached to a big thing, in this case like Blizzard, which used to be like seen as like the pinnacle of Western video games. And because of that association, it like has this kind of draw to it. But like when you take that away, when you look at Overwatch in a vacuum, what exactly does it bring to the table? All right, like I don't understand like what the appeal of the game is. And of course I've like played the beta and stuff like that. I'm familiar with like some of the aspects of the game, but I've I see no appeal in Overwatch. Not in the character designs, not in the world, not in the lore, not in like the setting, the general gameplay. Like nothing about Overwatch is appealing to me as a consumer. In fact, like I'd rather just go back right now and play Splatoon 3. I am never ever going to play Overwatch. And I think I think the people who are tricked into playing Overwatch, and I do mean tricked, like are just the sort of casual people, the casual players who like play a new Blizzard game every time one comes out. Like these are the same people like picking up Diablo 3 and not realizing there's a very serious decline in quality, right? These are the same people who play WoW. These are the people who care when Blizzard makes a new announcement, like the people who go to BlizzCon. Like Blizzard in a lot of ways has like the most brain dead, obsessive fan base in gaming. Like again, there are a lot of examples of this. Like, of course, you have like the Call of Duty people, you have like the Snoys, you have like the Steampunks with the Valve Steam Deck. But like when it comes to Blizzard, I really do think that these people genuinely believe that Blizzard is like the very best in the industry and that they can do no wrong. Now, like that seems to be dying down a lot. Like I think Overwatch 2 is like the first example I've seen of like real pushback against something Blizzard has done because this is not a sequel. I think it's safe to say that like this is just like Overwatch 1 with some minor tweaks and additions. From what I understand, I think they give it away for free if you own Overwatch 1. So yeah, I don't know how that's going to work at all. I can't imagine like new players are going to jump on. I don't imagine old players are going to come back. I think like Blizzard is this was just a cheap cash grab to try and keep like the brand alive. And I don't think the brand is going to stay alive. I do think Splatoon has like eclipsed it in relevancy despite what people like Darkside Phil may want you to believe. Like I don't think Overwatch can compete like long term with what Nintendo is doing. I think Blizzard is on the way out, and I don't think there is any salvaging this brand or IP.